Hi, this is Richard Kerr from Never Been Told, a podcast about creators, builders, creatives, and underdogs who are inspiring others throughout the Southeast Asia region. So today we have a very interesting guest. We have Gan Junqi, who is the co-founder of Beng Beng Sourdough Bakery. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for having me here
Yeah.
this morning.
Very excited today because we're going to talk about F&B today.
Nice.
It is a topic that we have not covered since we started the show a couple of weeks ago. So of course, you're the co-founder of Beng Beng Sourdough Bakery. Maybe you want to tell to the audience about what you actually do, and maybe a bit of the background when you started the coffee business as well.
Okay. So I run two F&B brands.
Mm-hmm.
So one is called Drum Coffee, which is a coffee roastery.
Okay.
And then another one is Beng Beng Sourdough Bakery,
Mm-hmm.
which is a bakery shop. So we sell bread. We sell bread and we sell coffee.
Okay.
Right. So the coffee that's served at Beng Beng are all roasted by our roastery called Drum Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So at Beng Beng, we now have 4 outlets across Klang Valley.
Nice.
And mostly we somehow over the years, I guess we'll be talking a bit more about that later on, we have pivoted into a sandwich shop. So we started off as a bakery selling bread, but along the way, somehow we feel like we should be, we want to position ourselves more like a alternative to Subway, for example.
I see.
So something that's healthier, something that's nice, tasty, but also at the range where people can afford it every day, or
And
maybe
also-
twice or 3 times a week.
And also localized. right?
Localized, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yes, localized.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the coffee business?
So coffee business, I've been doing it for 7, 8 years now. So for Drum Coffee, our focus is a lot more on B2B. So we also supply to like cafes, coffee shops,
Okay.
Other than our own cafes, of course. Other than our own outlets, yeah.
So the coffee business started first before the bakery, or the
yes,
before
if you are
Beng
just
Beng?
talking about Drum Coffee and Beng Beng Sourdough, yes, Drum Coffee started first. But way before Drum Coffee, actually, I also started 2 cafes in Kota Baru in my hometown.
Okay.
So that's how I actually started venturing into F&B
I see.
space.
Okay.
Yeah, but it has always been around coffee. So the cafes that I set up are mostly very coffee-centric as well, until sourdough came into our life.
I see.
And that's how we kind of built this new brand called Beng Beng Sourdough, which is really focusing a lot more on the real good bread and how do we use it and how do we make it like integrate it into everybody's daily life. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I understand coffee is not your original background. You actually studied chemical engineering.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
Because this is interesting. And you're also from Kota Baru in Kelantan, which is a state, one of the states in Malaysia. And interestingly, I think you have very somewhat similar background with Khairul Aming, which he was also in engineering, and he was also from Kelantan.
He's also our regular at one of the cafes in Kota Baru. Yeah. We always see him. He's very friendly, very down to earth.
I see.
Nice guy. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so maybe we go back in time a little bit. What actually inspired you wanted to venture into this in the beginning?
To venture into F&B space. So I used to work in the corporate world. I used to work with Accenture for 3.5 years. In over the 3.5 years, what I really remember even until today was I was constantly looking for a purpose. Like I was always asking myself, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Who am I truly serving? Like I was serving the clients and all that, but what is it that what is the value that I'm giving, you know? And I couldn't find an answer. Even after talking to like the career, what do they call it? Career
advisor?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the term anymore, but yes, we do have those kind of support within the company.
Yeah.
But after many conversations, I still couldn't find my answer. Until one day when I spoke to this one senior manager, and he actually told me, actually, maybe it's just not in your DNA.
Mm.
Maybe you are meant for something else.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, okay, I should give it a try, maybe. So then what should I do?
Yep.
And back then, 2013, 14, the cafe culture was just starting out in bigger cities like KL, Penang, but never in my hometown, of course.
Okay.
And I was one of them who really enjoyed cafe hopping, buying cupcakes, drinking coffee, not knowing what it is. Yeah, so just going around. That was when third wave just about to, just starting out that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I thought, hey, maybe this is something I could introduce to my hometown and build that culture over there. So that was the first vision, the very beginning, the very first version of that vision that I had.
Okay.
You know, to have this culture back in my hometown, to bring it to the people over there as well.
I see.
So I took up a coffee course, 3 days at Barista Guild Asia, and then I think 6 months later I opened my first cafe. It was called the Bold Lab Cafe.
The
Bold Lab Cafe.
Okay.
Because it was a bold move,
Bold
right?
move. Okay.
Like it was the very first cafe in Kota Baru with espresso machine and
oh really? Wow.
yeah, and a lot of people thought like, no way this is gonna work.
So you're the pioneer, basically.
Yeah, kind of like the pioneer over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Then how did it go? Like once you started it?
When I started out, and I almost immediately found my purpose. Like, wow, this is really exciting, and it drives me. And this was what I was looking for, you know, in while I was working at Accenture. Like, I was happy. I was very fulfilled. And then, and the cafe was doing really well until the second year. I got a bit overambitious. I didn't want to just settle in Kota Baru. So I went a bit overboard and went to Siam Reap to open a cafe.
That's in Thailand, is it?
That's in Cambodia.
So Cambodia, sorry, Cambodia.
Yeah, and I did that because I was traveling with my husband now, but then that time he was my boyfriend. So we went traveling and then we went to Siam Reap. And we really like it there. Like, you know how you go to Bali and you really feel like, I want a piece of myself here. And so we thought, hey, there's no self-service laundry there. We noticed that while we were traveling, like for a few days, we wanted to do our laundries and then there was none. And cafe was also like not really there. Not many cafes.
Still quite new.
Yeah, still very new. And then there were a lot of backpackers, travelers and all that. We said, hey, do you think we can do something here? So that's when we really like just, we had a bit of investment from our family, so our family backed us in this particular project and opened up the Missing Socks Laundry Cafe in 2016. But unfortunately, it had to close during COVID. Yeah. But until today, it remains as one of my favorite cafe that I've built over the past 10 years because it's a space where I could connect to different people from all around the world.
Nice.
Different people who are working in Siam Reap, like Angelina Jolie's team.
Oh, really?
They were doing shootings and then they came over for coffee and then we just like chat.
Wow.
And then,
Did you get to see Angelina Jolie?
No, unfortunately.
No. Just the team.
But yeah, just the team. But it was already very exciting and very interesting.
Because they have a lot of
stories to
backstories,
tell.
right?
Yeah. So, and then we also had B&B upstairs. So we do up put up 4 bunk beds and then we hosted the travelers on Airbnb. And that was a good 2-3 years we had.
So you had like a small ecosystem there where people can stay, do laundry, have coffee, work.
Eat breakfast, work.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, but that was also, I think we weren't fully prepared for that kind of traveling, mainly because we were single then, you know, like we didn't have families, we were not married. Right now I have kids.
Yeah.
That time I didn't have, and so the commitments wasn't as high.
I see.
So when COVID came, we really lost quite a bit of money there.
I see.
I always blame myself for like making that decision a bit too late. So when
as in closing it down?
Closing it down. So I waited for, I think, almost a year before I decided to close it.
Okay.
So for the first 12 months that lockdown happened, that was when we thought like, oh, maybe next month it's gonna like open again. Like who knows, right?
Wishful thinking.
Yeah. maybe another 3 months, maybe another 3 months.
Okay.
And then just like that, it became a 12-month loss. Like there was almost zero sales, but we were still, I mean, we managed to negotiate on the rental and stuff like that. And I only keep one staff there.
I see.
Mainly because that was our key staff and I don't want to just let her go like this because that's her main income, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the story about missing socks laundry fabric.
Okay.
It was sad, but would I do it again? I think I would think twice. Yeah, knowing that things may not go as planned or as we expect it to be. Right? Yeah.
But I guess that actually gave you that experience and also the resiliency to venture into what you guys are running today.
Yeah. So after that experience, I feel like, okay, if we were to do something more to expand, to grow, we want it to be somewhere more reasonable, like within, more accessible, more like easy for us to travel. Because in 2018, we got married. I got married. 2019, we had a kid already.
Okay.
So with a kid, then there are now a lot more restrictions on what you can do. You cannot just travel anytime you like. And then,
especially when they're growing up.
Yeah. And then the financials and stuff like that. So our perspective kind of shifted a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. So the focus is now more on like family, business. Now, how can we integrate these two together?
Yeah.
Right. So that it kind of complements, if it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. How many kids do you have?
One.
Just one kid. Okay. Yeah. So, but running this sourdough business, what are the challenges, especially here in Malaysia, for example?
The real challenge I feel, because I'm more on the operation side.
Yeah.
So Beng has always been he has always been the face of the brand. So if you Google up Beng Beng Sourdough, you will always see him talking about sourdough bread. He's the main baker and he's the one who kind of started this business. But what people don't really know is I'm more of like the integrator. So he's the visionary guy. And I'm the integrator that make things happen.
Yeah.
So the real challenge would always be people. So finding the right people and putting them in the right place, and so that they can feel challenged, fulfilled, and growing every day, right? And my challenge is that I realize if I want to grow my people, I have to. The company has to grow.
Yes, correct.
So growing a company takes time and takes a lot of skill sets.
Sacrifices too.
Sacrifices, yeah. So I think so these two things have to go together, right? Yeah, that I feel is at least my main challenge.
I see.
Yeah, to give enough space for people to grow and not feel like, what am I doing here? And I hated that feeling of feeling stagnant. And I believe a lot of the people who work with me have shared the same values. So
that's very important, actually.
Yeah. So it's always on my to-do list, like what can we do next? What can we do for you? How do you feel right now in what you're doing? What do you think you can do better, or what do you think you can do more? Yeah.
So when you mention about people, how do you make sure that, or at least to get that assurance that you are hiring the right person? What would you normally do?
So, I mean, the standard procedures, interview and stuff, screening and all that. Other than that, I really give enough time to observe them. So usually I think the first 3 months is very hard to tell. But from the 3rd to 6th month is when you really see whether this person has that DNA to be in the company, to be a part of the company. And it's within that 3 to 6 months that you either assure this person back that this is the right space for you, right? And I feel like that is the key period. Or if you lose it that time, then probably after 6 months, this person will consider like, oh, maybe I should consider somewhere else, or whether this is a place for me to work. So I feel like it's a two-way thing.
It is always a two-way thing. It has to be a two-way thing.
It's always a two-way thing. So we emphasize a lot on culture. So does this person fit into our culture? Because I mean, a lot of people talk about passion. I feel that's a bit overrated. For us, culture is more important than passion or skill sets.
Then how do you define the culture in your
so
company?
It's the way you talk or the way you present yourself, the way you work alongside other people, whether you show up at say companies get together or makan that kind of thing, and how do you behave outside of work, that kind of thing. So it's not just how you are at the interview, but also a lot more other things there. So I always feel like the interview part is not the real...
this is a very tiny part of everything.
So it really takes time to... So usually when I interview someone, I would say 80 or 90%, I will ask this person to come and join us already. But I will take the next 3 months to really observe and also give this person enough time to evaluate whether we are the right fit or not.
So to you, what is something that you feel the person is not right for the job? What are the
number
attributes?
one would be integrity. I feel that's my number one, what do you call the first thing that would...
The most fundamental thing.
The most fundamental. You can be the best baker, best barista, best whatever, but if there's no integrity, or if you're caught doing something that's not aligned to our company values, then I feel that's really breaking the trust there. So that is the number one fundamental integrity, because it says a lot about how you do things, how you treat people, how you treat customers, how you treat your co-workers. I feel that is our number one thing.
So I guess like any other business, there are ups and downs. Then how do you keep yourself motivated when things are not happening or things are not what you expect it to be?
Well, there are a lot of moments like this. A lot of moments like this. Usually I would take a break first myself. I mean, if it's not a situation where I have to firefight, I think it's very important that I give myself that space to think and to really get some clarity on what is going on. And at least I have the space to think before I react or respond, right? So that's something I've also learned since I first started. So I used to react a lot, but I find that reacting usually isn't responding. So we want to respond in a way that's respectful and a way that's understanding and so that we can kind of solve the problem if there is one, or to really understand what is going on, right? So usually I would take a break first myself. Maybe it could be, I'm not talking about 3 days break, but maybe just go for a gym session, go for a gym, and really have time to myself to clear my mind, and then I can look at the issue with more clarity. That's number one. What was the question again?
Like how do you basically keep you motivated?
Keep me motivated. So number two, look at the bank account.
That is something that we have to do. Entrepreneurs have to look at it.
This is a bit personal, but what really drives me sometimes when I'm feeling down, right, and I need to reset, is I look for invoice to open. So I would be like, is there anything that I need to prepare an invoice? Then that drives me, like, wow, okay, this is very therapeutic. When you see that, when you create an invoice and you prepare an invoice for a client. But I think that is just buying time to really settle your mind and to get into the situation and get yourself back to like motivated again. But really in recent years, what really motivates me is how I see there are people in the team who really relies on the business, right? I mean, even ourselves, even my family. So when I first started, I used to think like, oh, we are supporting so many families.
Yes, correct.
Right now, and we cannot fail. Those used to motivate me, but these days, because I have my own family, and now that's an added factor, right? My family must thrive too.
Yes.
And it's not just the other family. So all this together, I guess it's a very good motivation.
Yeah. Can totally understand.
Yeah.
So I guess what I also learned from that is you have to be more reflective rather than reactive in some ways.
I try to be, I try to buy time to respond and not just react. I used to react a lot, and I feel usually when I react, I'm not in the best, how to say, I'm not in a calm mode, or I'm not thinking the best way. Yeah.
Understand. Then I guess running businesses, like challenges, that's really part of it. But what do you think is the biggest breakthrough for Beng Beng?
The biggest breakthrough for Beng Beng. So we started during COVID actually. We didn't think that it would become what it is today. We started off as an online bakery. We used to bake it in Kota Baru, and then we used courier to ship the bread.
All the way.
Wow. Somehow people were ordering from our website. So I put up the website in one night, a few hours, put up a few pictures, and then the next day orders started coming in. So that's how we started, right? An online bakery. And then we came to do a pop-up. But I guess the first breakthrough was when we received an inquiry to supply to another business, to the other businesses in Klang Valley.
I see. Okay.
So that was when I asked Beng, my partner, do we want to do this? Like, do we want to take it to the next level or not? Like, instead of just doing a pop-up or send from Kota Baru. But if we do want to say yes to that, we have to be here. That was 2021.
So you mean here to be based here?
To be based here, yeah, to be based here. So we made the decision to move our production here, and we straight away checked into the cloud kitchen. That's how we almost immediately moved and started. So we didn't have to find a space to buy equipment and all that. We want to keep everything local. So when I remember that time when people were asking me, "Are you moving to KL like for good?" I didn't have an answer because I wasn't sure myself like whether this would work or not, right? Yeah, because it's so many uncertainties. Like, what if this business that I'm supplying to suddenly don't want us? So after we moved in, that's when I started engaging more businesses. Like, hey, would you like to have sourdough breads in your retail shop? Would you like to use sourdough breads in your cafe? That kind of thing.
Can I just interject real quick? Like, how did you approach these businesses?
Social media was one way. So the first inquiry that came was through IG. So it was a grocery mart called Groove Grocer. Something like they had 2 outlets in Klang Valley that time. So I wanted to serve this client, but I also know that I cannot just depend on them. So then I reached out to Bila Bila Mart. That time they had only like 10 outlets. Now I know they are growing, they are scaling super fast. So I reached out to Bila Bila Mart, and then they said, okay, sure, you can come on board. And then after that, it was also more like just go out for coffee with people and ask like, hey, I'm doing this right now. Do you need? It's really very much knocking on the door kind of approach.
Normally they say when you start, you need to do the unscalable things first.
Right? I guess.
Do the meeting people in person, talk to them, understand their problem statement.
So we did manage to get a few businesses who were interested that time, and then we did start to supply to some of them, even until now. So it has been like 5 years. But the second breakthrough would be when we realized that the cloud kitchen cost doesn't make sense. So it's getting a bit too high. So I feel like cloud kitchen is a very good place to start out and kind of like experiment, to test your idea. But for long term, definitely it's going to hurt your business because the cost, the margins are low. So then we decided to pivot. So we found a place to move out and then started our own retail space. That's when we also, so when we do a retail space, we either go for like selling breads, which there are a lot already out there, or we find a different niche, right? That's when we decided that, hey, we should be serving like sandwiches to people who are working, because our first location was in Menara UOA Bangsa.
Okay.
And people there are all the working crowds and professionals.
I see.
So that was our second breakthrough, I would say, to kind of reposition ourselves.
Okay. And you did mention about, there's a lot of uncertainties, which is a totally normal thing for entrepreneurs and businesses. Now, how would you advise people who probably too new to this? They're probably trying to venture themselves into entrepreneurship, but there'll be a lot of uncertainties. Then how would you convince someone to try it anyway?
When I first did it, we just kind of wing it and test whatever idea we had along the way. But also over the past 2-3 years, I learned that there are actually tools that you can kind of leverage on. So before you really want to, say, launch something, right? Maybe really do a more thorough market research before going into this. So I give you an example. So when we are right now at the Campus Ampang. So when the Campus Ampang was, before they opened, before they started, there were a lot of hype already saying that this place is going to be the place for family, for people to come by. And the idea of it sounded so good, like so nice, like, oh, imagine we can be in this space where we can serve the Ampang community and all that. But the reality is that right now, the place is buzzing. But people who are going there are very young and they don't really know our brands yet.
I see.
So there are people who love to Instagram, like Instagrammers, the Gen Zs, love fancy food, matcha strawberry latte, for example. And this reflection came from our own team, actually. We were wondering, like, what did we do wrong here? Because how can it be so starkly different from our other outlets, right? Then we realized it's the demographic.
I see.
So, it's not too late. We can still do something to cater to this different crowd. But if we had been a bit more cautious in the planning stage and if we could have predicted this to happen, maybe we could have started out with a different kind of menu or a different kind of concept, for example. And not so much of a, right now it's called Beng Beng to go. It's a grab and go kind of concept. But it doesn't, that place doesn't really need a grab and go sandwich place. So then how can we change this right now? But if we knew, maybe we could have curated a more inviting space where people can come and dine in. And I think,
Understand. But don't you think maybe it's also a good time to nurture your future customers who are the Gen Z?
That's true. That's true. We are giving it time. We are also changing up a few things. We are doing what the other tenants are not doing. So I give you an example. We curated this little Lego corner in our cafe. So some family with kids that they come in, they can just enjoy the toys while they have a coffee. It's just a little touch that's added to it. Then we see, there are people who actually come for this. So it's really just pivoting as and when we see needed. And I feel like that is how we have been running business all these years.
Okay. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are also keen to start something similar. But what do you think is something that most people would misunderstand about running this kind of business? I mean, the people you met before,
So a lot of people would think that F&B is very easy to start. You just need to know how to make coffee, and then if you have a good product, then you can make it into a business. But there are so many more things other than the product. Product is just one part of it, right? And that is the fundamental, like your product must be good. And then there are marketing, branding. What's branding? Until today, like I'm still trying to figure out, like what is branding? Is it just a logo? Is it just brand identity? Is it just colors?
Many more.
But there are so many more things. Your voice, what the values, this, that. I think that is a bigger part that most people would miss out. But coming back to it, I think the one thing that people usually would miss out is what's the purpose that you're doing. I think it all comes back to that. Because
the why, the big purpose.
Why, because when things get hard, usually that's what anchors me back. Like, why are we doing this?
Why did we start this in the first
place? Are you excited about doing this? I mean, things can get tough, but if there is a purpose and if you feel fulfilled, then it's worth doing, right? But if it doesn't, then we maybe have to rethink.
If your purpose is big enough, it doesn't matter what the challenges are, you'll be able to overcome it anyway, somehow, one way or another. Okay, that's great. What do you think having a small win to you? Because, becoming an entrepreneur, business owner, you need to have those small wins. And what are the small wins to you?
Small wins to me can really be as small as customers coming in to buy our products, especially repeated customers.
You see them
often, coming back
over and over.
Every other day, or maybe once a week. They remember you and they come and say, hey, how have you been, and that kind of thing. So I feel like that's really encouraging, and those are the small wins that we hold really dear to. Recently we had a customer, a Japanese customer, a regular, who used to visit us at Glow Damansara outlet, but we closed down that outlet last year, end of last year. And she recently found us at Campus Ampang, and she was so happy and delighted to see us. She's like, oh, I miss Beng Beng Sourdough. And we're like, oh yeah, how have you been? So that kind of moment, I think, is a small win to the team. Not just ourselves, but it says a lot about the team, how the team make her feel during those days at Glow Damansara. Even though the business was not performing, but the team must have done something right that make her remember us.
And that is branding. That's part of branding, actually. I mean, getting people to remember your brand, and wherever you go, they will try find ways how to find you. Yeah, that's great. And maybe we're going to talk a little bit on what do you think is the most underrated skill for somebody to start a brand like this, or a business like this.
An underrated skill. I still feel it's how you groom your people, how you train your people, how you build a team. I think that is actually a skill set. People usually, I mean, when they interview or people often talk about barista skill sets. Or where did you graduate from? Did you go to a culinary arts school? Did you go to pastry school? That kind of very tangible kind of skill sets where you can go to a school and learn something. But I feel it's really the people skill. How do you communicate to people? How do you convince people that this work needs to get done? How do you tell people to get work done fast?
Fast, yes.
And in F&B, I don't know if you know, grease trap is something that nobody wants to do.
Oh, really?
Grease trap is a part of the cleaning task, right? But if you're a manager, a lot of times the managers, sometimes they will just do it themselves. Sometimes, not all, but they will do it themselves because the rest don't want to do, right? Because it's not a nice job to do.
I see.
But I think what is important, and also what I'm trying to instill into our leads in the team, is how do you tell others that this is something that they need to do, right? Not by instructing, but is there a system you can implement, or is there something we can set up, or we can do to have this in place and make it not to say a habit, but it's systematic.
Part of the system.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel that is something that is lacking. Not just in our company. I feel like it's quite a common thing in the industry.
I think in any organization, because I mean, even based on my observations, especially when you work at corporates, when people are really great at doing things at their job, eventually when they get promoted, and then they struggle because they're not able to manage teams anymore, right? I think that's very common, and that's why when people start to talk about toxic environments, so I think that's normally one of the contributors. At least that's my point of view, because I've been in corporate also before. So what I'm trying to do in my company, even for now, is to do exactly what corporate shouldn't do. Totally the opposite. So okay, that's great. So maybe if you're able to go back in time and speak to the younger version of yourself, what advice would you give to you? Especially when starting up a business.
Especially when starting out a business. Back then, I didn't know it was going to be fulfilling. Right? I just wanted to do it. It was an option because I know that I couldn't find a purpose, or like I wasn't sure what I was doing while I was working in that corporate. But if right now I can go back and tell my younger self, I would say it would be rewarding. Maybe do it a few years later.
Okay.
I feel like there are some skill sets that I could have built a bit more if I was working in corporate for a few more years, slightly longer. Like managing a team, for example. How do you build the mid-level management? Because right now that's where my weakness is.
Okay.
So I feel like I would tell myself to give it a bit more time, and build that skill that you will need 10 years later.
10 years later. But of course, I think even today, I believe you have also invested a lot of time to build your skills, and over time you actually learn by doing, right? Not by reading books.
So right now my method is a lot to teach by modeling. So I have to model it to my mid-level management. So if I want them to act and behave certain way, then I have to do it first. And I will show them this is how you can do it too.
Lead by example.
Lead by example.
Great, that's good. Now, coming from a place like Kota Baru, I come from a smaller place actually. I'm from Borneo. I'm from Sabah. From
that explains the accent.
Even further actually. They call it the final frontier because it takes almost 3 hours to get from KL. So that's the furthest that you can go to in Malaysia. Coming from a slightly smaller place, how would you advise somebody from coming from a smaller place to make it big or make it slightly bigger in a big city like Kuala Lumpur?
To have an ambition, or
yes, that's correct.
So actually, I would say it's okay even if that is not your ambition. Like if it's okay even if expanding or growing out of wherever you are right now is not part of your dream. That is totally fine. So growing or expanding is not a must-have, right? It's not a must. But if you do foresee yourself to kind of be in a different place, it takes a lot of mindset shift.
Mindset shift, yes.
I feel it's a mindset shift. So when we moved to KL in 2021, we weren't quite ready. we thought that it would be almost like how we did things in Kota Baru, back in my hometown.
And even like in Cambodia.
And even, yeah. We thought like, you just open up a shop and then you sell something and people will come in and buy lah.
Yeah.
But no, that's not the case in Kuala Lumpur. And to be very honest, there will be a lot of stereotypes, stereotyping when it comes to talking about your origin and that kind of thing here. So people would say, oh, you came from a smaller town, smaller place, but don't let that affect you.